Hello, everybody. I am Hoardergamer, and today we are going to be talking about comic books. We're going to be talking about a little bit about toys. Not too much about toys, a bit about toys. We're going to talk about D23. If you don't know what that is, you'll be excited by the time I'm done talking about it. And we're also going to look into the future of comics all the way to 1 week from today. This is Hoarder's Comic Flex. Doom, how you doing? Good to see you, Doom. We're going to start with a very bizarre comic book review. It's bizarre because it's not a typical comic book. We have Batman Dear Detective. And this is a mix between a comic book and an artist's portfolio. Basically, Lee Bermejo is one of the best comic artists going right now, and that is a sample of Lee's gorgeous artwork. Lee usually does covers, not entire books, although he did illustrate the book Joker that came out probably about like 6 to 8 years ago now, I think. But yes, this is a collection of his covers featuring Batman, members of the Bat family, and the Rogues Gallery of villains telling a story. So the covers put into a different sequential order to tell a story about someone that's been watching Batman from the shadows and basically his ultimate nemesis, and it's a bit of a mystery as to who that is. So there's a bit of a noir angle to everything too. It's really good. Here's the thing to keep in mind though. Like I said, it's not a typical comic. It is a mix of many things. Now, as an artist's portfolio, having these amazing covers all in one book, and this sells for $7.99. It's a really nice prestige release. It's not like a normal comic book binding. It's more like a paperback binding, or like, trade paperback type of binding. And it's really good. The artwork is gorgeous. It probably took me longer to read it, even though there's only like 9 or 10 pages of writing. And again, it's like this one person talking to Batman, like, I'm here in the shadows. I am I have like these scars and everything. But it's not the Joker who's talking to him. We don't know exactly who it is. There's a message at the end where some people were able to say, oh, it was this person. But I haven't gotten there, so I got to the message at the end. It looked like a way of saying the word anonymous, is what it looked like to me anyway. Because there were numbers that were used, and numbers and letters, and then the letters were upside down. Yeah, it's really nice, Kiki. It's really good. Like, as a artist portfolio that's affordable, because usually those are rather expensive, $20, $30, $50 at comic shows, but that's like the only way to get them. So this is like almost a mass market artist portfolio, and for $7.99 I think it's really good. I like it a lot. And the writing is not bad. It's good. It's just not like, I think, the big selling point of this release. It's Lee's gorgeous art. Lee did actually do the writing as well, which is really cool. But yeah, it's a very kind of like shadowy and dark book with really gritty and gorgeous work done on the Rogues Gallery. They are intense. His work on Riddler and Joker, seedy, gritty, really good stuff. But yeah, Dear Detective is awesome. If you're a fan of Lee Bermejo's art, you owe it to yourself to get this. Again, for $7.99 in a well-published, book, high quality and everything, I highly recommend it. Now, if you're buying it for the story, I would say that that is not the goal of this book. It's part of the goal. But the big thing is like a really clever way to take an artist's work and reimagine it. Batman Dear Detective. Thank you, Doom. I will try to remain on fire, but not completely combust. I'll try not to completely combust, at least on camera. At least on camera. That's our first review, everybody. We're actually going to have 2 comic book reviews today. I was thinking it would just be one, Dark Detective. I'm sorry, Dear Detective, which we just reviewed. But like I said, the dialogue, there wasn't much of it. And it was a real quick read, even like staring at the gorgeous art, you know? It didn't take anywhere near as long as I thought it would take to read. I will try not to combust. Hey, no promises, Kiki. No promises. I will try not to. I'll try not to. So, everybody, we usually talk about TV right about now. I can say that a lot of children that think they're men, I think that's a good way to put it, a diplomatic way to put it, had a lot of issue with a twerking She-Hulk and Megan Thee Stallion. And I had no problem with it. I thought it was amusing. I thought it fit the tone of what they're doing on the show. And yeah, I think She-Hulk's a lot of fun. I like the ongoing joke about Emil Blonsky's 8 wives. And Tim Roth is having the time of his life in this role. Like, Tim Roth is just... He's usually plays, like, serious characters. Like, if you've seen Reservoir Dogs, right? If you've seen any of the other movies he's in, you know... Usually, sometimes like crime dramas and stuff. He's really great in funny games too. There he plays a husband that is trying to protect his family from lunatics. But yeah, I really like She-Hulk. I'm a big fan of the character, so I have to be honest there too. And Tatiana Maslany, been a fan of hers all the way back to, get this everybody, Ginger Snaps Back, I think was the title. The sequel to Ginger Snaps. One of my favorite horror movies of all time, Ginger Snaps. Coming of age story of 2 teenage sisters in Canada. And one of them gets her period, but they very cleverly tie in the idea, because that's called the curse. They tie that in with werewolves in an incredibly clever way. And the director of that, John Fawcett, did Orphan Black, also with Tatiana Maslany. Well, she's in the sequel. She's not in the original. But the original is awesome. Still waiting to watch it, but it looks so good. The first Orphan Black or She-Hulk? I'm sorry. the first Ginger Snaps or She-Hulk? Yeah, Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed. The first 2 are really good. The third one is not bad. It is just such a drastically different thing. But I'm getting off topic here. We were just sort of talking about Tatiana Maslany. But yeah, it's a great show. I like She-Hulk a lot. Wong was fantastic. Wong was like freaking out Jen Walters, talking about the mirror dimension. And I could just go, I'm not going to erase everyone's memories again. She's like, that's good. You shouldn't do that. It's a terrible invasion of privacy. She's like freaking out. She's like, she cannot deal with magical people. Doctor Strange and Wong just, I think, kind of terrified her. But it was awesome. It was really good. And I like to do like a actual review, because it's a week after that I'm kind of talking about it more like a conversation. I will say this, though. How does everyone feel about it being more like Boston Legal? Let me explain what I mean about that. Each episode has had an A and B storyline. Not so much the first episode, but the other two. You know, like you have like other lawyers at the firm and they're doing their thing, and that's a separate storyline, which is with a light elf that was taking other people's identities, including Megan Thee Stallion. So that makes it a little different. It's more like Boston Legal than it is a normal Marvel show. Or like, what was that other show? The Practice. Boston Legal was kind of like the more fun, more irreverent version of The Practice. Hello there, Mike. Xbox Live Mike. By the way, everybody, Xbox Live Mike might be the very devil, because Xbox Live Mike very much knew that I have this show on Wednesday nights, but goes and tries to innocently text and like, oh, how about late night sushi at 8 p.m.? My treat. So I called him out and said, not today, Satan. Not today. I hope you're doing well there, Mike. Loving all the Canadian women being brought in the universe. Both She-Hulk and Miss Marvel are Canadian. Yes, it's awesome. It's awesome. And like I said, Tatiana Maslany, amazing. Emmy-winning actress. Played, well, I think 17 roles on Orphan Black. All of them different. Like, do you know what it takes for a science fiction show to get one of their actors the Emmy for Best Actor? Like, I think maybe it's been done once before. I honestly don't know. And it was on like BBC America. It wasn't on one of the big networks. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great sci-fi series too, Orphan Black, if you can check it out. There's a sequel series or something coming soon, but I don't know the name of it or any more details. But apparently a follow-up to Orphan Black is coming. The original, I think, had 5 seasons. Has everyone else been enjoying She-Hulk? Like I said, I think it's been really good. And people losing their mind over twerking? Really? Really? God bless the BBC. Well, I like BBC America. I just wish they didn't have ads. Oh, you know what? There's probably some pay version of BBC America, too, for all I know. Everyone has a streaming service now. Kiki, you have your own streaming service, don't you? Ramon Vision, I believe it's called. Ramon Vision. Xbox Live Mike has X-Vision. X-Vision. Everyone has their own streaming service. I mean, I do, you know. The Eyes of Hoarder. It sounds like a horror movie, I know, but I didn't want to use Vision twice. Or 3 times. It's live. This isn't scripted, people. I would have had better titles or better names for those stations otherwise. All Ramon all the time. Kiki Ramon, Dee Dee Ramon, Joey Ramon, the rest of the Ramones. Okay, everybody, now we're gonna get serious. We're gonna get incredibly serious, like painfully serious, and talk about D23. So everybody, D23 is this big Disney explosion. This massive, it's every year, every 2 years event where Disney is like, hey, we got some cool stuff coming out. You should see it. It's also a big thing where like, hey, come down to the Disney parks or like be part of this live. It's like this big thing. I think there's even like you have a membership and stuff. Some stuff's like exclusive to the members. Anyway, we're going to get a game presentation. I believe it is 3 p.m. Central on Friday. Like, I think it's 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And for me in Central Time, that's 3 p.m. But yes. So at first it seemed like it was all Marvel, which is still awesome, right? Still awesome. But then they opened it up and made it seem like any Disney game. So what could we possibly see there? Well, we could see Midnight Suns. Really good chance of some Midnight Suns. We're almost guaranteed to see Amy Hennig's new game, which might be Fantastic Four. A AAA superhero game by Amy Hennig, who is behind some of the best Uncharted games, as well as other games that she's worked on. That's very exciting. To me, that is very exciting. Could also be Daredevil. We don't know. We don't know for sure. But yeah, that's supposed to be there. The new Star Wars that's supposed to be like The Division, that might be there. The new Avatar could be there, owned by Disney. They own Fox. It just gets crazier and crazier. The new Wolverine game could be there. Spider-Man 2 could be there. Like, the possibilities of what could be there are just insane. Completely. Wrap your head around this one, everybody. A lot of people forget this one. In 2020, it was mentioned real briefly. Machine Games, the company that did like the new Wolfenstein titles, Indiana Jones. That could be there. They could have a trailer for that. All of this could conceivably be there. We're also supposed to hear about a new big, massive expansion for Star Wars Lego, the Skywalker Saga. So that's cool. A lot of people think it's going to be story expansions based on Solo, the movie Solo, and Rogue One, which is great. Because, like, a lot of people didn't like Solo. It is not, to me, a great Star Wars movie. It's a really fun action film. So, it's not terrible. It's okay. Playing it in Lego form will be amazing. Playing it in any video game that has a budget would be a lot of fun, going through and doing the train heist and stuff. That's going to be neat. Who cares? How you doing? Who cares? I cares. I cares. Who cares? It's good to see you. Trying to lurk. Ha ha! I'll say something wacky enough to get you to respond. So what is everyone hoping for at D23? What are we all... Oh my god. Kingdom Hearts. The new Kingdom Hearts, because keep in mind, they showed the moon of Endor on that real brief video or pictures that they showed of it. Star Wars related. And Disney owns, you know, all the properties from, well, most of the properties of Kingdom Hearts. The next Star Wars movie, that would be really cool if they'd at least announce it. I was thinking about that the other day, Mike, because everything got pushed back. Rian Johnson was going to be doing a series. Now, I'm trying to remember who, someone else took over and supposedly is doing a trilogy. Is it Taika? It might be Taika Waititi. It would be nice to know where they're going with it, right? I would like to see... maybe 2024? Does that seem feasible right now? For a new movie? I mean, I don't know how far they're along, you know. Is there a script or anything secretly? I don't know. It takes about 6 minutes to... 6 minutes. It takes 6 minutes to shoot the movie, everybody. How quick? It takes about 6 months or so, I'd say, to shoot the movie. 4 to 6 months. And then about a year for special effects. So, I don't know, maybe 2024, 2025. There's originally meant to be a new Star Wars movie, I think, this year or next year. But COVID completely dismantled all of that. And I was going to alternate. New Star Wars movie, new Avatar film. New Star Wars movie, new Avatar film. The big budget Avatar game could be really cool. I think that there's some people that worked on The Division working on that as well. Kingdom Hearts Marvel mashup, yes. I know you're even if you're like kidding, it can totally happen. It can totally happen. Yeah, it looks like the Forest Moon of Endor. Someone was actually able to match up images. It's almost guaranteed where they were. So if Star Wars can happen, Marvel can happen. What kind of movies I'm shooting? It's probably just TikToks. Nothing, nothing too exciting or interesting. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to maybe seeing Spider-Man 2. Other gaming news about Spider-Man 2, apparently execs have seen it and are shocked that what they were shown was not cinema's actual gameplay. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Hopefully an actual release date that they can keep for Midnight Suns. That'd be good. Now, what's really interesting is DC, right? They decided to not have DC Fandom. But with this D23 event, depending on what's all going to be shown, I feel that Warner Brothers should step up to the plate and, you know, right when Gotham Knights comes out or right before it does, show like a nice big deep dive for people on the edge about buying it. You know, they don't know for sure. They're thinking about it. They're just kind of debating, will I buy this or not? And then also show some of Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. And maybe if it's ready, some Wonder Woman. You know, they also have to have the conversation there too, right? They can't just let Disney be like, we're going to eat your lunch and dinner and maybe any snacks you have. We'll eat your second breakfast, Hobbit. See, you can't have Disney eating their second breakfast. DC and WB, I have no idea. I'm so confused, although we did get good news on the gaming front, Kiki. The execs at Discovery absolutely love what they've seen of Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, Gotham Knights, and all the other games in development. They are very impressed with all of that. And they have no inclination of selling or anything like that with the titles. Keep in mind, that was AT&T that wanted to do that. Discovery wanted all of it. They wanted all of WB. But yeah, I mean, I think Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is going to be one of the coolest games next year. It's rock steady. Even a decent rock steady game is better than most games on the market. Anyone else excited for D23? I'm going to try to watch it live. Mike, putting you on the spot. You have off Friday or you have off Saturday? Xbox Live Mike, on the spot. Mike might have ducked out, so I might have just like called out Mike. And I didn't even mean to. That wasn't even my goal. But yeah, I mean, it could really be an embarrassment of riches, right? Even if they show just 3 or 4 games, it could be amazing as to those games. Hey, Misplaced, how you doing? Listening, lurking? I will attempt to be entertaining and informative. Right now we're talking about D23, the big gaming event part of that, which is going to be on Friday. The entire D23 is going to cover everything, everybody. It's going to cover Marvel. It's going to cover probably Star Wars, Indiana Jones, things going on at the theme parks. It's a whole weekend, especially the exclusive content available only for members. And no, I do not pay a yearly fee to be a D23 member. Although I think that's just the name of the event. I don't think it's... Dreamlight Valley, new Disney game. Is there any story in that? Like, what's it like? Is it exactly like Animal Crossing? And I'm scared to even ask how microtransactions work in that game. I know it's on Game Pass. I'll try it out. Right now I'm playing this awesome Paper Mario type game with bugs. I apologize. I can't remember. I think it's it's not a Bug's Tale. It might be a Bug's Tale, actually. But it's really good, and it's only on Game Pass, I think, till next week. But it's neat. If you like Paper Mario, like, you know, that type RPG style, it's neat. It's impressive so far for an indie title. But yeah, I'll definitely try out Dreamlight Valley. It looks neat. It looks neat. Again, the microtransactions, worrisome. Well, everybody, we talked about D23. Now it is time for us to toy around a little. And when I say a little, I mean a little. I mean, like, not a massive amount. A story of Met Merlin now trying to find Remy. Oh, really? Don't think there are microtransactions there. I haven't pushed any yet. Interesting. I'll be interested to see how this game makes money and continues. There you go, everybody. There you go. DC Speed Metal. And here is The Darkest Night. You get to build The Darkest Night if you collect Kid Flash, Jay Garrick, Barry Allen, and this version of Wally West. You buy those 4 figures and you get to build The Darkest Night, this nightmare version of Batman from DC Comics Metal, and the actual issue, I believe, was Speed Metal. So I think these are really cool. The Jay Garrick is probably one I would want to get. I really like what they did with Jay. I love the helmet. I think that looks really nice. I really like The Darkest Night, but not enough to purchase all 4 figures. Like, I'm not big on Barry. There's different versions of these characters that I would like more, but, like, I really like that figure right there. There wasn't too much, like, that kind of blew my socks off. A lot of what was going on with Toy News was Hasbro Pulse talking about how they're going to have something massive for Transformers and something massive for Power Rangers. So that was a lot of what's going on with toys right now. They'll probably mention they're going to do something massive for G.I. Joe as well, and Nerf. They also mentioned Nerf today. That's actually, that announcement's on, let's see, today's Wednesday, on Friday. They have a big Nerf announcement on Friday. It's supposed to be retro. I don't know exactly what that means with Nerf. And then the other thing I have to show you for us toying around today is Bladow! The King in Black collection. Null, the King in Black, from the 2018 Donny Cates run of Venom, and Venom. You get a version of him with the long tongue, which you can see in this picture. Plus you get another head with the teeth, 2 hands, and Null gets 2 heads, as well as the Necro Sword. I've been waiting since 2018 to have a Null action figure. And this, the dragon version of Venom, is really cool. Now, the issue with this set being that it was a little bit pricey because they basically charge you another figure price for those wings, because they're huge. So basically, the amount of plastic in those wings is another figure, and that's what they looked at. Now, I'll be honest, I don't absolutely love that you can't see the actual figures inside. You just see the box. Cool artwork on the side here, though. Look at this. That looks nice. But yeah, I'm very happy this arrived. Originally, this was supposed to come out in December. Then it was pushed up to October. And then people were getting notices like 2 weeks ago that it's about ready to ship. I was like, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. This took almost a year to arrive, though. It was like August of last year that I ordered it. Maybe July. Might have been July or something. But yeah, I'm really happy to have this. Yeah, I'll probably display these behind me. But yeah, I figured that would be a fun thing to have for toying around, especially because there wasn't too much, again, that just, you know, blew my socks off my feet. There wasn't much this week. Maybe next week there will be, but not too much this week. And those Flash figures, that's from the McFarlane line. Again, it's a Build-A-Figure set. So you get all 4 of them and you build the Darkest Night. Everybody, it is time for us, and I think you've all waited for this. I think you've all been waiting with bated breath, as they say, for a look into the future. All the way to 1 week from today. So, we actually have a number of really cool books and a number of books with like issue 1s, which is always fun because it's exciting. You don't really know what's going to be happening. 10,000 black feathers. Okay. So let me explain this. Jeff Lemire, one of my favorite comic book writers, absolutely awesome, and Andrea Sorrentino, since like they worked together on Green Arrow, maybe even before that, they've almost constantly worked together in projects. And this is a massive multi-year, almost multimedia experience in horror, known as the Bone Orchard Mythos. There was a hardcover book that came out, an actual full graphic novel earlier this year. And this is part 2 of the Bone Orchard Mythos. But get this. Apparently, this is like a 12-issue comic book series. So there's a full graphic novel that came out, and now a 12-issue graphic novel series. And these are just aspects of the Bone Orchard Mythos. This isn't even the entire thing. It's this insane project, completely nuts. But here, you know, we're going monthly with it, and you can finally see what it's going to be like month to month with 10,000 Black Feathers, #1. And it's basically about, it sounds like people in a virtual reality game, but things start falling apart between reality and virtual reality and the game. So for some writers, I would be like, oh, that sounds okay, right? Here's the thing. Jeff Lemire wrote Gideon Falls, which is this horrific, supernatural, crazy story. Just awesome. Really great. And now doing this. So I'm very excited, and I love horror. I love horror when it's done well. And Jeff Lemire does horror well. And not just horror, he did an amazing breakdown of superheroes called Black Hammer. That's also awesome. And it's basically, these superheroes are kind of put out the pasture. They're exiled to a farm, and we don't know exactly why, and a reporter's kind of trying to look into it and see what happened. And that went on for numerous volumes, and I wish I could say more about it. I've only read so much of it, though. But it was awesome. What I read is awesome. And funny enough, there is I believe it's a trade paperback omnibus for $30 coming out next week. That is the first volume of Black Hammer. So, and I even planned that. I didn't even plan that at all. Yeah, the skull on the feather is awesome. Yeah, at first it just sort of looks like it's a feather, and then you're like, oh, look at that. But yeah, the art of Andrea Sorrentino is just amazing. It's fantastic. Now, it's a little confusing because it sounds like there's two artists on a book. It made it sound like Dave Stewart is doing art as well. I don't know. Dave is doing a number of the covers. This is apparently the Sorrentino cover, though. But yeah, if you like horror, I would definitely check this out. I don't think the prerequisite is that you have to read the hardcover book that came out. I do apologize, I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, this is like basically then part 2 of the Bone Orchard mythos, and a multi-year project. So you're still kind of getting in on the ground floor. You're kinda. There's just that, I think it's a $16 hardcover that's necessary. And there goes the Bone Orchard mythos. Well, would you look at this, everybody? What's this? What's this? Midnight Suns #1. Now, the write-up did not say if this is directly connected to the game or not. But I believe it's a 6-issue series, Midnight Suns, and you've got Magic, Blade, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, is her name Mino? I always get her name wrong, I apologize. But like, yeah, we got a Midnight Suns comic coming out next week. So I figured that would be really exciting to bring that up. But yeah, there's not all too much details about it. It's like, I think, kind of a new team. Most of the old members as well. But I'm interested in it. So I wanted to show it to everybody. Midnight Suns. It was a comic book initially. But that was like in the 90s, I think. Late 90s. But we got that right there. This will be groundbreaking, possibly. So let me explain. There's the League of Shadows, also known as League of Assassins. Ra's al Ghul leads them. Talia al Ghul's his daughter. And they're basically trying to control the world, and they're almost like eco-terrorists at some point, but it's hard to explain exactly what they're into. However, Talia's son, Damian Wayne, is on the cover there. And a demon named Neza is basically wrapped Damian around its finger. And now it's going to be Batman versus Robin. Now, this is exciting because this is connected to Batman and Superman, the comic book currently, which is actually World's Finest. And that's been a really good book. Really good. And now we have Batman versus Robin. I think it's a 6-issue series. I'm not exactly sure. But this could be intense, to say the least. And Nezda is a very dangerous villain. It's basically the source of demonic power in the League of Assassins, released. So I think this is going to be really cool. Mark Waid's a great writer. And yes, this also comes out next week. This book could be adorable, okay? Ms. Marvel and Venom 1. So, that's not Eddie Brock. That's his young son, Dylan Brock. So, it's Dylan as Venom and Ms. Marvel fighting enemies, and it's Jody Houser writing, who's a really good writer. So, I think this will be really cool. This also comes out next week. Not a lot of details, but I think it's going to be neat. What? Crazy! Yeah, the Dylan Brock, well, currently in the Venom comic book, Dylan Brock is Venom. His father is like, basically, he's like the god of the symbiotes, and he's mostly off-world now, worrying about crazy cataclysms and just nutty, insane things. But it's been really good. And Ram V is writing the new Venom book, or the current Venom book. Also writing Detective Comics and the awesome Andromeda, which is the, I believe that's the name, the new Aquaman miniseries. But everybody, those were all the books for us looking into the future, all the way to 1 week from today. Everybody, it's time for me to prime the pump. Again, it's not a ghost piano. I'm not playing a ghost piano. It's an old style pump and I'm priming it. I want to see what you want me to review. Tell me what you want me to review. Tell me what toys you want me to talk about. You know, if you have something to talk about in the world of comics, bring that up. Feel free. I'm just getting the pump primed. I'm priming everyone to do that as we do the next and final review. We did Dear Detective, and now Alien 1 by Phillip Kennedy Johnson. So, this is good. It didn't blow my mind or anything, but it's good. The interesting aspect of it is that you have what seem like superpowered human beings just completely wrecking like Weyland-Yutani employees, like tearing them apart and stuff. And you're like, what is going on here? They're all androids. There's like a group of like 6 androids they're called synths. SYNTHS. And didn't want you to think I said simps. And basically they are promised that they can have freedom and they can have full citizenship if they go and investigate what seems to be an alien egg on this planet. So that concept is neat. I like that concept. I will check out issue 2 because I want to see where things go. But like the team was originally called Team Steel because they're all androids. And they look exactly like they're human, you know, just like Bishop looked human. So in the comic book, it looks like they're superheroes. Like it's like what do you want to say? The Boys, you know, like they're just like wrecking house, super violent and everything. But it turns out that they're synths, and they can actually have freedom. They can actually, you know, be fully actualized and considered like people if they go on this mission that they don't want to go on to. One last mission, basically. But yeah, the twist is that they're androids, and it's cool. I liked it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did Predator 1, which we reviewed probably about 3 weeks ago. Like, that I thought was awesome. Like, a part of that I really enjoyed. But this is good, and if you're a fan of Alien, I would definitely recommend checking it out. To me, this issue felt like basically getting the plot together and just kind of like wowing you with the surprise, like, oh, this is the team that's going on the mission. Okay. But that was Alien 1, our final comic review for this week. Now, because I primed that pump, do we have any questions, any suggestions? Anything you want me to review? Anything you want me to talk about? As it pertains to this show. Like, not... I have to put up some guardrails there. Did I watch Prey yet? No, I need to. I don't even know if I currently have Hulu. I have to see. Kiki, I'm so behind. So right now, everybody, I'm trying to finish up The Walking Dead before the new season starts. And when the new season starts, that's the beginning of the end. I think it's only 8 episodes or something like that. So I'm trying to do that. I watched the first 2 episodes of season 11. I'm in episode 7 or 8 of Sandman. I have to watch the season finale of What We Do in the Shadows. That'll probably watch tonight. Maybe at lunch tomorrow, I'm not sure, but possibly tonight. But yeah, I got a lot of things to catch up on, but I definitely want to see Prey. I just don't know if I have Hulu. Pirate it. I might have Hulu, I don't know. I've been watching things off Netflix. Oh, and don't get me started. I've also been watching the Lord of the Rings series. Rings of Power, I believe it's called. I watched the first episode. I liked it a lot, except constantly moving to different locales. Otherwise, I thought it was really good. Which comics would you like to see them create that they have not yet? Last year, if you would have asked me, I would have said Captain Carter. And then a Captain Carter comic book came out. It seems like every time I want characters to get a comic book or something, if they're in some other format, it happens. If anything, I guess Pushing Daisies, Brian Fuller was going to originally do a comic book to like bring that story to an end, and more conclusively than the TV show did, because it got canceled. He tried to end it as well as he could, with I think a month or two to make changes. But yeah, that I would like. Pushing Daisies to get a finale, especially from Brian Fuller, the writer and creator. Sandman's awesome. Sandman is awesome. And oh my god, as someone who's I've read almost all of Sandman. I want to say there's 12 or 13 volumes. I've read 10 or 11 of them. I know the ending, and there's only 1 or 2 that were kind of side stories that I didn't read. I think Dream Country might have been one of them. I'd have to check. But anyway, someone who knows the Corinthian, because I've read most of the book, the actor they got for him is insane. Just creepy and handsome and everything the Corinthian should be, done perfectly, as if the Corinthian just walked out of the comic book. I mean, even his mannerisms and his sense of humor, it's done so well. And the actor who plays Dream himself, Sandman, is the gravitas this actor has, who's probably in his early 20s, is unheard of. You hang on his words. The actress playing Death, excellent. That also upset some man children too. That was also upsetting to some people, that casting. But she's awesome. She's awesome. The whole cast is so good. They got comedian Patton Oswalt as Matthew the Raven. Let's see. JoJo Bizarre Adventures. I have not seen or read or experienced a lot of JoJo. The Grim Reaper is MVP. Oh, she's awesome. She's awesome. And she is so, in the comic and in the show, she's so down to earth and just, I'd say she's the most approachable of the Endless, right? And she's there to soothe you, to calm you when she takes you away under her black wings. That's actually the name of the first issue, and you'll hear her wings fluttering. You never see them. At least I haven't seen them. I'm on episode 7 or 8 now. You hear them when she takes someone to the afterlife. Yeah, I mean, and the writing is so good. And the take on Lucifer, so well done. Just David Thewlis as John D. I mean, I can't get over the cast that this show had. But yeah, I love the Sandman show from what I've seen. Like I said, I'm on episode 7 or 8. There is 2 or 3 episodes I need to watch, and then there was another episode that I don't think is tied into the story that aired on Netflix like a week or 2 later. Okay, everybody, I don't think we have any other suggestions or comments. I want to thank you all very much for watching. It is, but it isn't. Yeah, I think it's like a side story that's in the comics. It's Calliope and the thing about the cats. The second part is... Oh, okay. Like I said, I'm not done with it yet. But yeah, I'm very impressed. That opening episode, my God. Charles Dance is Roderick Burgess, and following most of the beats of the first issue. The first issue's long. It wasn't like a 20-page book. I want to say it was 48 pages or longer. And it just the show does such a good job. Although, keep in mind, it's Neil Gaiman, right? The guy who wrote the comic book. Like every issue. And created these takes on the characters, basing Sandman off a superhero version from DC and changing a lot of stuff. It's just wild. Thank you, Kiki. Thank you, Misplaced. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I greatly appreciate it. We'll have another episode next week at 8 p.m. Central. Let's see here. Tomorrow, I'll be on Twitch. I stream on Twitch under the name Hoardergamer. And I think we're going to be doing some Last of Us Part 1, where I think we're close to finishing it. I think we have like between 4 to 6 hours and we're done. It's roughly about a 20-hour game. It's great, though. It's really good. But yeah, I'll be doing that. Risteens, how you doing? Misplaced, Kiki, hate to put you on the spot. Do we know who, is there a block party? Are we doing the block party this week? Do we know who it is? I believe there's the Doom Squad Gaming wrap-up, right? There's a wrap-up on Saturday. Block party might be every 2 weeks, I think. Thank you, Kiki. Thank you. I do think the wrap-up, though, is Saturday. I think Doom said there's a wrap-up on Saturday. So everybody, you want to check that out? That'll be on the... that's actually, I believe, on Doomkiller HD, that YouTube channel. And that's going to be at usually about between 6 and 7 p.m. Central on Saturday night. But everybody, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Doomkiller HD. Thank you to Doom Squad for letting me borrow your YouTube channel again. Thank you. And yeah, we're going to have another show next week, 8 p.m. Central. And not quite sure what I'll review yet, but I'll know in the next few days. Thank you very much. And you can always follow me at Hoardergamer, at Hoardergamer on Twitter, or Hoardergamer on Twitch. Thank you very much. Twitch.tv/Hoardergamer. Thank you, everybody, and I hope you have a great night, day, afternoon, anytime you watch this. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.